Thanks for joining me. I hope you all have had a safe weekend. Happy Labor Day to everyone in the chat and the viewing audience. This information I'm bringing to you is pertaining to Cleotha Pookie Abston, who has been arrested for especially aggravated kidnapping of Eliza Fletcher. I will be bringing you content pertaining to her family. They have spoken to the general public. I will also be bringing you information on Cleotha's violent history, his past as a young offender, and information to who he is. What is the involvement with his brother? Is he a witness after the fact? Or does he know more pertaining to the abduction of Eliza Fletcher? I want to thank all of you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great channel, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. All stickers and chats are welcome during this live. ABC 24 Memphis is my first source. Eliza Fletcher's family speaks out for the first time. Thank you for joining me.
Eliza's family is now speaking out for the very first time tonight, while others are praying for her safe return home. Here's Jay Shakur.
We believe someone knows what happened and can help. Family, friends, and community members gathered at Second Presbyterian Church Saturday, some to show support to Eliza Fletcher's loved ones, and others prayed for Eliza's safe return home.
This is Eliza's church, and we believe as Christians, when we gather together, two or more, that the Lord is in our midst, and we comforted each other. We were able to lift her up in prayer.
The Midtown woman was kidnapped while jogging early Friday morning near the University of Memphis. According to Memphis police, Fletcher had been jogging in the area of Central and Zach Curlin at about 4:30 in the morning when an unknown person approached her and forced her into a dark-colored SUV. After a brief struggle, Fletcher was then forced into the vehicle.
I'm just a community member. My children go to her school, and I have always admired her strength as a mother and as a teacher, and she's just a beautiful person, and it's just awful to see the evil that's in the world.
According to MPD, that SUV has been located, and a man who was inside of the vehicle has been detained.
Our whole church deeply loves the Fletcher family, and I'm praying for Eliza. We're deeply pained and sorrowed by what's going on, and we're praying for her safe return.
In East Memphis, I'm Jay Shakur. Hey.
Thank you for joining me. ABC 24 is the source. So you have here this last gentleman speaking, was inside of a church. He's expressing how pained they are, knowing of the said information pertaining to Mrs. Fletcher. A suspect has been detained and in custody. Cleotha Pookie Abston, 38 years of age, African-American male. I will be bringing you said information pertaining to the night, or early morning rather, of that abduction. Cleotha's past. The bond has been set by a judge yesterday pertaining to Mr. Abston. And I will be bringing you a source with all said information. Thank you so much for joining me. Tampa Bay News, man arrested in connection with the abduction of Eliza Fletcher.
Disappearance of a Tennessee woman who was forced into an SUV while she was jogging. Early this morning, 38-year-old Cleotha Abston was charged with aggravated kidnapping and tampering with evidence. Abston was arrested Saturday after his DNA was found on a pair of sandals near where Fletcher was last seen. They also linked the SUV Fletcher was forced into to someone living with Abston. Police say a witness told them Abston was acting strangely and was seen cleaning the SUV and washing his clothes the morning Fletcher disappeared. Now, Fletcher is still missing. She hasn't been found yet. Her husband reported her missing Friday after she never came home from her early morning run. Police say on surveillance video, a man seen exiting an SUV ran toward Fletcher and forced her into the vehicle before driving off. Police are still investigating.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. That said, information is by 10 Tampa Bay. So in this commentary, you get the basic synopsis of what allegedly happened to her via a video, and Mr. Abston is present. DNA matching Mr. Abston has been found on slides, champion slides, at the scene of the abduction alongside a water bottle and a phone. Very quick analysis by the forensic team down in Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you so much for your hard work. But the part of the story that we had not heard is about the SUV. And this was going to be a part of my commentary, but they've answered it for me already. Was this Cleotha's car, truck, SUV? Obviously not, because in this commentary, you hear the reporter speaking, someone linked to Mr. Abston's. The SUV doesn't belong to him. I will get into that commentary because you know I will bring you the bang pertaining to the said information in the articles I'm going to read to you. Now put that on paper. A man is out hunting prey, a human being, and he's not even using his own car to abduct a woman. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Happy Labor Day to everybody. Thank you for joining me. So I've brought you commentary pertaining to the family speaking out, ABC 24 News. This news is 10 Tampa Bay pertaining to the abduction. Mr. Abston has been charged with aggravated kidnapping. His DNA has been linked to some slides that he was wearing on the night of the abduction. And witnesses have said they saw him cleaning the SUV, the same one that was used in the abduction of Mrs. Fletcher. My next source, CBS Evening News. Man charged in connection with Memphis joggers' disappearance 19 hours ago. Thank you so much for joining me. Everything is just a recap of the abduction pertaining to Eliza Fletcher. Thank you so much for your time. I will be bringing you commentary that is very interesting in nature pertaining to who Cleotha Pookie Abston is. Thank you.
Details tonight about a missing teacher whose abduction Friday was caught on camera. CBS's Elise Preston is there. Elise, good evening.
Good evening, Jerica. Police have not confirmed if their large presence here on the ground or in the air is related to that missing mother's abduction, but they do tell us they are following all leads. Meanwhile, the suspect in this case is behind bars, charged with especially aggravated kidnapping and tampering with evidence.
A community is desperate for answers tonight after 34-year-old Eliza Fletcher was abducted while jogging early Friday morning near the University of Memphis. Police sharing these photos with the public in hopes someone might help locate her. But according to police records obtained by CBS News, additional unreleased surveillance video shows the well-known teacher violently abducted. Police say this man, Cleotha Abston, waited for the Memphis mother to run by him before grabbing her and forcing her into his SUV. Investigators say they found her phone and his sandals at the scene. Cell records showed Abston's phone in the area at the same time of Fletcher's disappearance. Her family pleading for her safe return.
We believe someone knows what happened and can help.
Miriam Smith attends church with Fletcher.
She's got a lot of tenacity. She's strong.
Outside of Fletcher's Memphis home, police collected evidence. They also hauled this dumpster away from the home of Abston's brother. Records show the suspect's brother told police he spotted the 38-year-old suspect scrubbing down the inside of his car with cleaner and, quote, acting strange.
Now, court records show the suspect has a criminal past here in Tennessee. He pleaded guilty to especially aggravated kidnapping in 2001. Meanwhile, Fletcher's family is offering a reward to her safe return. Jerica?
Still so many questions. Elise Preston reporting from Memphis tonight. Thank you.
CBS Evening News is the source. Let's chop up what was said because there is vital information here in this commentary. The family speaks out. Somebody knows what happens. It's not to be rude. Cleotha knows what happened. Cleotha has been charged already. They have evidence of a violent struggle on video that has not been released to the public. Naturally, they won't release that. It'll be a while before they decide to release that said information. They may just wait until trial to release the said information in the video. Sandals left behind. Bingo card. This man was getting a fight from Eliza Fletcher. I said that yesterday in my commentary. For him to come up out of his shoes, stay woke. So that means you've done all this wrangling with a woman you do not know, kidnapping her, violating her persons, barefoot. Think about what I'm saying to you now. Barefoot. Getting in a car with a stranger. She's probably hollering, screaming, wailing, fighting this thing. He puts her in the passenger seat for those that did not know that. As I said before, naturally he locked the doors. She tried to fight to get out of the car. Many of us would have said, hell, I'm going to wreck this automobile. I don't give a damn. We are going down up in here. Was she awake, lucid once put into the driver's passenger seat, excuse me. We also learned 4 minutes that car sat in the place that it was. Did not move. All this is obvious on video. 4 minutes, everybody, 4 minutes. What was he doing with her for 4 minutes inside of that SUV? Subduing her so he could have his way with her. I think we already know this is a sexual crime because she has not resurfaced. And where he was found at the brothers, that has also been mentioned in his commentary. Why? Cleotha, why were you at your brother Mario's apartment? Oh, mercy. The things that have been said about you on that fateful morning. You showed up there hours. What were you doing in there? What were you doing there? And the thing that's so interesting about this information, this is why you have to pay attention to everything the news gives you, is that one, he came out of his slides. He was barefoot in a car, violently assaulting this woman. I think we know this. Her injuries were serious from what was found inside of the vehicle. Stay woke now. He shows up to his brother's house hours later. What time did he get there? Bingo card. Hey, bro, where are your shoes? Where are your shoes? Why are you walking in here barefoot? What are you doing knocking on my door this early? Does he normally go to the brother's house that early? I want you to think about everything mentioned in his commentary. Bare feet. Sits in the car with her for 4 minutes. What was he doing to her? Sexually assault her at that time? Beat her up? What? Was she alive or dead? What? Where is she? And know that he lied in wait for her. That's another piece of information some of you may not have heard. So now you have to ask yourself, was he looping back after seeing her? She didn't pay attention to the car going by? What? Because to lie in wait means I had to have known or seen you. So had he been watching her, seeing her before, jog this route? Did she run the same route? These are all the questions we're going to chop up in this live. Thank you for joining me. Lied in wait. Has he seen her before? Jogging in the AM. What made him go after Eliza Fletcher on this fateful Friday morning? Why is he using someone else's car? Bingo card. See, we're going to connect the dots to a diabolical mind. You're out at 4 o'clock in the morning using someone else's car, which will lead one to believe you live with somebody else. Come on, Queen, bring it to him now. You are out in the wee hours. What did you tell the person you stayed with? Because I want to believe that perhaps Mr. Cleotha lives with a woman. Come on, Queen. She's not wondering where you are at 4 o'clock in the morning. Ting. You abduct this woman 9 times out of 10, sexually assault her, discard her somewhere, and then show up to your brother's house bloody with no shoes on. Shut up. Let me stop there, because I don't want to get all into my commentary. I have one more piece of information I want to play for you. Thank you for joining me. News Nation is my last audio. Crime Stoppers Memphis Executive Director speaks out pertaining to this abduction. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for your time. Happy Labor Day to everybody in the chat and the viewing audience. Please be safe. If you're going to end by and get a designated driver, one moment, please. Video is loading. Thank you all so much for joining me.
Executive Director of Crime Stoppers Memphis Division, Buddy Chapman, joining us by phone this morning. Buddy, thank you so much for making time to talk to us. We know a man has been charged in connection to the kidnapping. However, it's still no Eliza. So my first question for you is, are you any closer to actually finding her?
Well, that's hard to say. This is a case with a number of moving parts, as you've already covered. It's a tragic case. I have to say, I hate to say that it becomes less and less likely that we will be able to find her alive, but they are covering all the bases, and you pretty much summed it up. There is a $50,000 reward, and I would remind anyone hearing a $50,000 reward, remind anyone who's hearing this that will go to the person that calls us to tell us where to find her, if there's anyone who knows that. As you noted, the person who's been charged with killing her has refused to cooperate and give any information.
Has there been any indication that there could be other people involved in covering this up or in locating her?
Well, you may or may not know, I used to be the head of the police department here in Memphis, and just what I have ascertained from listening to the reports that I get, I don't anticipate that. He was found with his brother when they arrested him. The brother has not been charged. When he did his previous kidnapping, he was abduction. He was alone when he did that. So it wouldn't appear that way, but as I say, a number of moving parts.
We know that the dumpster was seized from an apartment complex and towed away. Is there any information you can provide us as to why?
Well, we also have witness statements that have been reported that he was seen washing his clothes, and you covered the part about him cleaning out his car, but he was also seen washing his clothes. So the natural assumption is that there's a possibility he may have thrown those away. There's also the possibility that there was something else, whatever, if in fact he struck her with something or killed her with something, that item might have been thrown in the dumpster. They're covering all bases. You also covered the issue of them taking things from the home and towing the car. That's pretty much standard procedure. When they don't have an idea and a person disappears, the family will come under scrutiny always. That's not any black mark against them. That's just the way the thing works.
Okay, Buddy Chapman, thank you very much for joining us this morning by phone. Certainly hope that this investigation continues to reveal more clues.
Well, we just hope someone will call us and with that $50,000 in mind, and give us information as to where she is, or in the worst case scenario, where her body is.
All right, Buddy Chapman, thank you again.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation now.
While at work,
All right, everybody, that's my last video I'm going to play for this live News Nation is the source. Let's chop up what was said during this audio. Buddy Chapman, thank you for your time. Speaking with the reporter at News Nation. He works for Crime Stoppers. Oh, mercy. Cleotha was found with his brother. Let's ask the obvious question. Cleotha, what were you doing going to your brother's apartment? What were you doing there? Why were you washing your clothes there? Eyewitnesses give account that he was washing his clothes there. Thank you for the sticker, sweetheart. You were there washing your clothes. Why? See, all this information is pivotal to show you who Cleotha is and what the hell was going on that Friday morning. This shows you Cleotha lives with somebody else. Stay woke, everybody in the chat. Cleotha, who do you live with? Because you went to your brother's house hours after the abduction. And whatever you did with Mrs. Fletcher, why did you go to Mario's apartment? Mario had another woman there. Who's that woman? His girlfriend, mother, cousin, whom? Child, what? These people have already told the police you were there washing your clothes in the sink. You were cleaning out the truck. Bingo card. Everybody stay woke. How do you all know he was cleaning out the floorboard of the truck? It's early in the morning. Who the hell cares about what somebody's doing with their car? Because one would say, Cleotha must have said something to you. What did he tell you? This is where it gets real interesting. What did Cleotha tell Mario and the female? Because whatever he told you and whatever you saw, you did not call the police. Shut up, Queen. You didn't call the police. The police came to you, which one would have to say, how did they get to that address to Mario's apartment? For even Mario to get arrested. We also have information that Cleotha was arrested at another address. Oh yes, Queen did her homework in the wee hours just to bring you this live. 2 separate addresses. Ting! This is why you have to listen to everything that's been told to you. Because it all fits together. Kidnapping a woman in the wee hour. Kidnapping a woman in a car that doesn't belong to him. After he's done his dirty deed, he goes to his brother's house to wash his clothes in the sink. They have verification he was cleaning his car also, which means you knew he was bloody. Now let's go to where are the clothes? You're going to rinse out bloody clothes and do what with them? Carry them in a Kroger bag? Back where? Stay woke, everybody. You knew he cleaned out the floorboard of his car. So you didn't ask, what the hell are you doing? Oh, what is that? Blood? Where did that come from? He had to have had a conversation with these people. And you all, with your trifling asses, you didn't call the damn police. Now, yesterday when I was speaking, or the day before, I was rooting for Mario, the brother, that they went ahead and told the police what they knew. But they was going to go ahead and talk because they didn't want to be linked to a crime. So they thought, hell, we're not about to go down for no damn kidnapping / murder because we don't know what Cleotha told them. But we know he had to have said something because how would you have known he was cleaning the floorboard of the car? And her abduction was at 4 in the morning. Eliza says he got to Mario's apartment hours later. So how would I know what you're doing in your car if I'm inside of the apartment? Because you had to have came in there and told us something. What did Cleotha Pookie Abston tell Mario and the female eyewitness? Who is the female eyewitness? Is she Mario's girlfriend, side piece, lover, mama, who? Did they ask him about being barefoot up and there? Stay woke. Hey man, wear your clothes. Hey man, wear your shoes. Did he discard items in the garbage can? Is the weapon thrown in the garbage can? During this video, you will see a green garbage can being loaded onto a flatbed truck to be taken in for evidence. What's in the dumpster? Is there a weapon in the dumpster? Why the fuck would you take a weapon all the way back to where your brother lives and throw it in a dumpster? Don't tell me you this stupid. Well, you're stupid for kidnapping this woman and God forbid killed her. Because we're now in day 3 no Eliza Fletcher. Where is she? Think about everything I've said to you. Rinsing his clothes in the sink. You know how much work it takes to rinse out dirt in a sink. Washing clothes, something we rarely do. You only wash your delicate things in the sink, things that aren't supposed to be washed in a washing machine. So what all was he washing? His shirt, his shorts? They obviously had blood on them because we find out there's blood left inside of the vehicle, in the floorboard. This is obviously where he assaulted Eliza Fletcher. And imagine being assaulted in the floor of a damn car. You don't have much wiggle room. She was probably barely breathing, suffocating, trying to fight off this burly man in the floorboard. Passenger seat or back seat? It doesn't really matter. It's heinous nonetheless. Buddy Chapman tells us in this audio that Cleotha has refused to talk. He was alone in his last abduction where he abducted a lawyer. He was 16 years of age, for people who don't know that. I'm going to bring you that said commentary. But he says he doesn't believe that he had anybody along with him on this abduction of Eliza Fletcher because the last one he did, he was alone. But what some people don't know, and I'm going to bring you a source, he went and got people to assist in that abduction of the lawyer. So I'm going to bring you that here in a short minute. Once again, washing clothes in the sink, washing the floorboard of the car using cleaner. The dumpster was towed, a green dumpster was towed from the apartment complex where Mario lives. Did he use a weapon to assault Mrs. Fletcher? If so, what is the weapon? Did he dispose of it at the scene where he possibly discarded this woman, or is it in that dumpster? And we also get commentary from Mr. Chapman that items were seized from the property of Mario's apartment. What did they take out of his apartment? Thank you for joining me. I will now get on to who Cleotha is. Who is this demon? Who is this demon? 38 years of age. He's been incarcerated most of his life. Who is he? And how did he come to assault this woman? I'm going to bring you something that may be of use and may not. Take it at face value, but it was in the Google information when I was searching for his court appearance. I wanted to get the gist. I will possibly be back on later this evening with the information pertaining to what transpired in court today. 20 tips to avoid being kidnapped, abducted. The Nation is the source. The spate of kidnappings. Okay, this is. I think this is for something else. Let's see. I don't even see it. Hold on one second. They've got 50,000 articles running neck to neck. Well, I thought I was going to get information here. Okay. Tips to protect yourself and your family. How to prevent a kidnapping. At this critical phase, no one is safe. Hence, seeking God's refuge appears to be the only way out in terms of spiritual protection. For the victims and their families and friends, the consequences are even more frightful, and that is why one must pray to avoid being a victim. Stop routine movements. Number one, driving or walking through the same route will make it easy for suspecting abductors to gather information about you and can make it easy for them to track you down when they are ready to strike. Find other streets, highways you can use when driving from home, work, and back. Number two, don't discuss your family with strangers. Whatever issues you have with your family must not be discussed with strangers. This is to maintain safety, as it has been reported previously that kidnappers also gather information from those in one's neighborhood. Number 3, do proper checks before employing workers. Before you employ your new housekeeper, driver, another employee, please do a proper background check about that person. Know the family members and let the person give the name of a guarantor that can stand in for him or her. This should be done because some people who are kidnappers may pretend to be seeking employment with you. That's very vital because most people don't even think about that. A person could be watching, word of mouth. Somebody says, oh, I hear she needs a nanny. I hear this. They could be plotting to do you harm on word of mouth from somebody else. Hey, yeah, they need their grass cut. Yeah, they need their hedges cut. And the wrong type of human being could get that information and go knock on the door pretending to be a proper human being seeking employment. Side work. Oh, I hear you need this. I heard you need your driveway paved, but that ain't what they really want to do. They're not coming there to work for you. Could be set you up, physically assault you, rob you, sexually assault you. Stay woke, everybody. Maintain a moderate lifestyle. To avoid being kidnapped, you should check your lifestyle. If you have been living loud, try to do it in moderation now by adorning not too expensive wares that announce you. So very true. This is the reason why many people in the Atlanta metro area have had their doors kicked in by gangbangers recently and the past couple of years. Because you're on Facebook and Instagram showing all your bling bling, telling everybody you went to Dubai and you went to Mexico and you're showing all your Louis Vuitton and your Fendi outfits. Well, damn, now I know you got a lot of goodies in your house. You're showing your car. You're on reality TV and they're always showing the facade of your residence. How long do you think a robber, kidnapper, it won't take them long to find where you are? I'm sure you can match a photograph through Google. I've never done it, but I'm sure it can be done. Because we have sick people out here that are always watching. As this commentary says, don't be too loud. Looking expensive all the time can make you a target for kidnappers. Don't discuss money publicly. To avoid being a victim of kidnappers, another area you must check is receiving phone calls that involve discussing money, especially huge sums. When you discuss such amounts of money in public, you send signals to kidnappers that you are rich and can be their victim. Know your neighbors. To avoid living close to a potential kidnapper, get to know that person living close to you well. Find out if the person is living alone or not, and the kind of job that person does for a living. Don't get too close to a stranger. People that you don't know, try not to share valuable information with them. That stranger may be a kidnapper in disguise, so avoid strictly any stranger that tries to move close to you unnecessarily. And the last tip. Oh, well, no, it's not the last one. I'm sorry. Keep emergency numbers. It is important to keep emergency numbers like contacts of police that you can quickly call. Whenever you sense you are being monitored by kidnappers or you notice anything strange in your environment, be aware of your environment. One of the major ways to avoid kidnapping is to be thoroughly vigilant, which means you live in your house like an investigator. These entails being aware of everything happening around you and your family every time. Vigilance keeps you alert when others are not. That is a very valid point. But the flip side of that is living like your own guard, and many people just don't do that. At some point, you're going to go out of your front door, back door, side door, and not lock it. Who locks their door to go check their damn mail? The only people that do this are usually people who live in apartment buildings with a lot of people because they know they can't risk leaving the door unlocked. But if you live in a development that possibly doesn't have a lot of neighbors, and possibly you could see the mailbox from your front door, you probably won't lock your door. But that is all a potential sadist, robber, kidnapper, all of the above, is looking for. The one opportunity to catch you slipping. And sadly, most people have been caught slipping on possibly the one day they let their guard down. such as letting the dog out, checking the mailbox, running to the car to get something out that you forgot, unloading groceries. Perfect setup for a robber, kidnapper, sadist. Because nobody's going to be locking the door every time they go out of the door from unloading packages, parcels. You're cooking, you're barbecuing, you got the patio door unlocked, you're going in and out, taking things off the grill, or you're doing a setup outside. You want to sit outside and have coffee, tea. Who the hell's going to be locking the door back and forth every time you enter out of your patio door? You're not. But that is when you will be favored by a demon seed. Because sadly, people sit and watch you every day. And that is the one thing a lot of you don't even think about, is that when you're entering in and out of your home, your apartment, your condo, your townhouse, there is always somebody watching. There is always somebody lurking. There is always somebody looking and knowing when you go in, when you go out, how many times you came out that damn door, what time you started your car, what time you pulled out the driveway. And they don't even have to be a sadist. It could just be your neighbor. He or she knows your schedule. Yep, she gets up, she gets in the car about 5:15 every morning. She returns about 4:35 in the evening. She walks her dog at this time. You would be mortified if a person came back and repeated to you verbatim your comings and goings out of your damn house. And it may not be that they're nosy. It's just that they're your neighbor. They're used to seeing you coming and going. But they're possibly up 9 times out of 10, so they know your schedule. But you have to be very careful. This is why we have these scenarios, such as with Eliza Fletcher. She did the same thing, possibly every day. And this man has seen her running in the wee hour. And on this fateful Friday morning, he struck out against her. Thank you for joining me. Okay, we talked about being aware of your environment. Notice everything that's happening around you. Always keep your phone handy. Well, this didn't help Mrs. Fletcher, sadly, but I'm going to read the content anyway. Keeping your phone with you at all times is very important, as it can be a source of help when there is a threat of kidnapping. Don't just keep your phone with you, but make sure you have airtime, no matter how little, so that it can be useful in times of danger. When you notice a threat, attract the attention of people. Whenever you notice any threat of kidnapping around you, attract the attention of people around to yourself by screaming or shouting. Keep doing this until you notice that people have gathered around you and can come to your rescue. Well, this possibly would not be of any use to her because she's running at 4 in the morning and most people are asleep. And the only people that would be up are people that are coming and going to work, or people who are coming and going from a party, get together. Now, as I told you in my commentary, I don't know if that street housed fraternities or sororities or not, but 9 times out of 10, at 4:30 or so, those kids are probably done partying and possibly already made it back to their homes and dorm rooms. And if they've been drinking, they're out like a light. So did she scream? I do not know. Did he cover her mouth? I do not know. Don't get too close to a stranger. Try not to share valuable information with those you don't know. The stranger may be a kidnapper in disguise, so avoid strictly any stranger that tries to move close to you unnecessarily. Let someone know where you're going. Exactly. This is a very, very valid suggestion. If you must meet a new acquaintance, make sure someone knows where you're going and who you're meeting. Leave a message with a family member or friend where you're headed, and if possible, give the name of the person you're about to meet and other details you might know. A lot of times, you don't want people in your business. You don't want to tell where you're going. You might meet someone happenstance, or it might be spur of the moment that you're hooking up with a friend for dinner, lunch, movies, or somebody you just met. You're going on a date. You're going to their house. However it works. Or they're coming to your place. It's all the same. You need to send a text message to somebody to describe who you're going with, give the phone number and the name of the person you're meeting, wherever it is. So that way, when nobody hears from you, your friend, family, whomever has something to give law enforcement. And also make sure you give a description in your text. I'm meeting Joe Blow. He's a tall, white, Caucasian man, brown hair, blue eyes. He works for FedEx. Tell them something so your family friend can give information that can help locate you. And if worst case scenario, locate the suspect. Naturally, if you have caring friends and family, they know who your phone service is with. They'll track your phone. They'll track your phone. But a lot of times we don't tell people we're meeting people just because we just don't want to. Okay? We don't want to tell all our business, where we're going, where we're coming. But in this day and time, because we're in a very volatile world, society, you do need to tell people you're going out. And it's a sad thing to say because nobody just ups and tell people, yeah, I'm getting ready to go to the grocery store. Yeah, I'm getting ready to go to Target. You know, you sound like a walkie-talkie. Yeah, I'm getting ready to go to Kroger. Yeah, I'm going to go to 5 stores today. Well, you might want to tell somebody something. Because if you live in a rural area, a small town where they do not have high-tech technology and video surveillance, you know what, out of luck. That's why I don't care for rural living. I don't want to take 20 minutes to go to the grocery store, 30 minutes to get to the hospital, the clinic. That's too damn far out. And I've always said about that type of living, when something jumps off, who is going to save you? When you live out in the middle of nowhere, even if you have ADT, if it takes 30 minutes for the ambulance or the police or sheriff to get to your jurisdiction, ADT ain't going to mean a damn thing when somebody decides to come up in there, kick that damn door in. Do you understand what I'm saying? Lie in wait on a rural road because they've watched you driving by your house, your property. They've sat and watched. And they know this person gets up at this time. This person stays gone for about 7-8 hours. This person doesn't return at this time. I know they've got 2 kids. I know their kids go to this school. See, a lot of you don't think that people actually watch you because you're thinking about Lifetime and Netflix. Oh, that's a movie. Oh, yeah, it's a documentary about a true person, but it ain't going to happen to me. Hell yeah, it can happen to you. That's why you're supposed to pay attention to cars that sit for a while. Same car driving back and forth on the same road you're passing. Damn, I saw that car yesterday. Next time, take a picture. Might save a life. Thank you for joining me. All right. Do not accept rides from strangers. Once you get into a stranger's car, you are at their mercy. Amen. They could either incapacitate you or hold you hostage, and you might not have an opportunity to defend yourself. Let me say this to many people, to those that are listening. I've heard this many times in watching true crime from detectives. The object of staying alive during a kidnapping is to not get in that damn car. That is rule number 1. When you are being abducted, as you heard in this commentary I'm reading to you, you need to stomp, scream, bite, spit, scratch to not get in the vehicle. And it's not your fault that the abductor is strong. It will not be your fault if he or she has more than one person with them. Because how can you fight off 2 people trying to shove you into a vehicle? But you need to bite, do whatever you need to do to get this person to stop holding on to you. They tell you to reach for the throat because many people don't know that. The throat can take you down immediately. One jab to the throat, to the groin, to the stomach, to the eyes. gouged their damn eyes out, grabbed them by the throat. But see, every situation is different because we do not know how he grabbed her. He could have walked up from behind. And it is very hard to fight when you're being grabbed from behind. You have to know certain techniques to get out of a stranglehold from behind. You have to twist your body to the side to try to come out of a chokehold. But you probably won't be thinking that once you've been grabbed because you're being startled. As I said, you let people know where you're going. Leave a message with a family member, friend, where you're headed if possible. Give the name of the person you're about to meet and other details you might know. Once again, do not accept rides from strangers. You will be at their mercy. And naturally, they can incapacitate you, hold you hostage, and you won't be able to defend yourself. Be careful with revealing data on social media. Be careful not to reveal too much about yourself or your family members via social media. No need to flaunt new cars, houses, condominium units. Never reveal addresses, and be sure to turn off the GPS function on your smartphones. Don't post on social media the places you frequent. Some people are unaware that Facebook and other sites reveal the specific location for where you are posting on social media. Very true. Be vigilant not only at night, but all times. It is true that most kidnappings occur during the night, but there are also a few cases that happen in broad daylight. We should always be vigilant, not only at night. Keep your financial transactions confidential. Kidnappers are known to take people forcefully to demand ransom. They give conditions for the release of the captors, sending panic to the family and friends of the victims. As I've said, we have not heard of a ransom in this case. Mr. Cleotha has been arrested and he is not talking. So obviously this was not about a ransom, the abduction of Eliza Fletcher. Research shows that 7 out of 10 kidnappers always request that money to be paid for the release of the kidnapped victims. These demands are mostly made because they believe the victims have money at their disposal. So they basically target people who either have access to a large sum of money or are rich. The most logical way to avoid these unnecessary attentions is not to reveal your financial history to anyone. Vital information like your bank statement of account should not be handled carelessly. Avoid public donations. Don't try to be a money bag in public. Do your best not to make public donations in church and your neighborhood meetings as well. If you donate publicly, you are giving people an indication of your wealth. Anonymous donations are the best. Don't be predictable. When embarking on trips, don't take the same roads all the time. If possible, you can go through flight. Try to be unpredictable. Take alternative routes. Use a different car. Get in a cab instead. This could throw off any kidnappers on your trail. The Nation Online is the source of this information. I will now bring you commentary pertaining to Cleotha Pookie Abston. Before I go into who Cleotha is, I want to tell you about the judge who set a bond for him yesterday. Yahoo is the source. A Memphis judge has set the bond for 38-year-old man charged in relation to the abduction of Eliza Fletcher. The mother, too, was pulled into a car during an early morning run. Cleotha Abston had his bond set at $500,000 on Sunday, meaning he needs to post $50,000 in order to be released from jail. He is being charged with especially aggravated kidnapping and tampering with evidence. He was taken into custody by law enforcement officers on Saturday after he was spotted by U.S. Marshals at 10:45 a.m. An affidavit for Cleotha Abston states that 2 witnesses, including Abston's brother Mario, told police that they saw the suspect cleaning the interior of a GMC Terrain, which was named a vehicle of interest by police. The 2 also stated they saw Cleotha Abston cleaning, washing his clothes in the sink of the house, adding that he was acting strange, according to the affidavit. Eliza Fletcher went missing Friday morning at 4:30 a.m. on the 3800 block of Central Avenue in Memphis, Tennessee, and was forcibly taken into a GMC Terrain, according to police, who say that there was a struggle. Video surveillance in the area of the abduction allegedly shows the GMC Terrain passing and then waiting for the victim to run by. Repeat. Video surveillance of the abduction allegedly shows the GMC terrain passing and then waiting for the victim to run by before Cleotha Abston ran aggressively toward the victim, quote unquote. She was reported missing at around 7:45 a.m. on Friday when police received 2 calls, one from Fletcher's husband, Richard Fletcher III, and one from the University of Memphis. Court documents state that the GMC terrain was in a nearby parking lot with the victim inside for 4 minutes before driving off. Repeat. The GMC terrain was in a nearby parking lot with the victim inside for 4 minutes before driving off. Police were able to match Cleotha Abston to the crime by using DNA evidence that was collected from a pair of Champion slides sandals that were left in the area of the crime scene. Police also say that Eliza Fletcher suffered serious injury and left evidence, e.g. blood, in the vehicle that the defendant cleaned. Cleotha Abston is due to appear in court on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Law enforcement officials were seen throughout Memphis on Sunday and conducted searches at various locations, according to a Memphis Police Department spokesperson. Let me repeat that again. He was seen throughout Memphis on Sunday and conducted searches at various law enforcement was seen throughout Memphis on Sunday, conducting searches at various locations, according to a Memphis Police Department spokesperson. People with information in relation to this abduction are urged to call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. Very interesting information. So we now learn, as I've said in the previous commentary and audio, that Cleotha saw her running. He drove by her, sickly fancied her, and drove somewhere, parked, waited for her to come by, gets out of his vehicle, runs towards the victim, and takes her into the trunk. Thank you for joining me. Heavy.com is my source of information. Who is Cleotha Pookie Abston? Sorry it's taking so long to get to this information, but I wanted to bring you that information pertaining to being kidnapped, the tips to try to keep you safe, as not to become a victim. Thank you so much for your time. And once again, if you'd like to donate to this great network, $DeGanji129 Cash App. All stickers and chats are welcome during this live. Heavy.com is the source. Cleotha Abston, Eliza Fletcher, suspect. 5 fast facts you need to know. This was uploaded September 4th. Cleotha Abston is the Memphis felon accused of kidnapping pre-kindergarten teacher Eliza Fletcher, who was snatched in Tennessee while jogging in the early morning hours of September 2nd, 2022. A review of Abston's criminal history by Heavy shows that he spent years in prison for kidnapping a defense attorney at gunpoint. The man was stuffed into a trunk but managed to escape the robber after Abston took the attorney to a gas station to withdraw money from an ATM machine, according to a 2000 article in the Commercial Appeal newspaper assessed through newspapers.com. Police affidavit in the Fletcher abduction case paints a terrifying scene in which Abston is accused of waiting for the victim to run by, then rushing her and forcing her into his vehicle. He was later seen cleaning the SUV. Cleotha Abston declined to provide investigators with the location of the victim, according to the affidavit. The affidavit describes the abduction as violent, with the suspect waiting for, then rushing toward the victim. Authorities believe Fletcher, 34, suffered serious injury that probably left evidence, e.g. blood, in the vehicle that the defendant cleaned. According to Shelby County Jail records, the suspect goes by the name Cleotha Pookie Abston. A Facebook page for Pookie Abston of South Memphis says he's also known as Wild Child. The profile picture is a gun with the phrase Wild Mob. Neighbors told Daily Mail that Abston was a weird pervert who stalked women, watched them, and tried to get them to have sex with him for $100. People referred to Cleotha Abston as wild on another Facebook page in which he wrote about getting out of prison after 20 years. I got 364 days left. I can't wait to see my family and friends after 20 years, exclamation point, he wrote in 2019. He shared a gun photo on that page, which is the name Cleo Real. Fletcher, 34, a mother of two, who hails from a prominent family, has not yet been found. Abston's arrest came after a sudden flurry of activity in the abduction investigation, including discovery of the suspect SUV, search of a Memphis apartment complex, and crime scene tape near local McDonald's. Fletcher was forced into the mid-sized dark-colored SUV near the University of Memphis campus while jogging. Memphis police wrote in a news release. Her abduction has gripped the city. University of Memphis police said in a safety alert that Fletcher regularly runs on Central Avenue and was reported missing after not returning home at 7 a.m. Her cell phone and water bottle were discovered in front of a house in the 3800 block of Central that is owned by the university. Here's what you need to know. Number one, police say Cleotha Abston left behind champion sandals with his DNA after running aggressively toward Fletcher and forcing her into the passenger side of the SUV. The police affidavit reveals, chilling details. It says that on September 2nd, 2022, at 7 a.m., Memphis police responded to a missing person report in the 1500 block of Carr Avenue. Richard Fletcher advised that his wife went for her regular run around 4 a.m. and did not return home. At about 6:45 a.m., a citizen on a bike found her cell phone and a pair of Champion slide sandals lying in the street. In the same area, investigators then obtained video that showed a black GMC Terrain passing and then waiting for Fletcher to run by. A male exited the Terrain and ran aggressively toward the victim, forcing her into the passenger side of the vehicle. There was a struggle, and the Champion slides were found in that area. The vehicle then sat in a parking lot with the victim inside for about 4 minutes. Police obtained a partial plate from other video, and they sent the Champion slide sandals for DNA testing on Friday and got a hit, Cleotha Abston Henderson, in the CODIS database. So he also goes by the last name Henderson. Authorities then worked on confirming Abston's whereabouts before, during, and after the abduction. They obtained surveillance footage of him wearing the same slides the day before the abduction at Malco Theater. They found that he resided at 5700 block of Waterstone Oak Way, a location with active utilities in the name of Gwendolyn Brown. Well now, shut up. Wow, Heavy, you've done your homework. Gwendolyn Brown, the utilities are in this woman's name, who has a black 2013 GMC Terrain registered to her name, bingo card. The car did not belong to Cleotha Pookie. He took another woman's car to kidnap another damn woman. Are y'all hearing this? I can't. They also located a September 1st, 2022 police report for Abston that listed his address at Waterstone Oak Way. The affidavit doesn't explain that report. The owner of Majesty's Cleaning Service verified that she employed Abston and he drives a GMC Terrain. Police determined Abston's cell phone was near the area where Fletcher was forced into the Terrain at the time of the abduction. On September 3rd, 2022 at 10:45 a.m., the GMC Terrain was located by members of the U.S. Marshal Service. Officers detained Abston when they saw him standing in a doorway. He tried to flee but was taken into custody. A woman told police that she saw Abston around 7:50 a.m. on the day of the abduction. He was at a different home. Please listen carefully. He was arrested at apartment number 1. Or let's say 2. But a witness states he was cleaning the interior of the GMC Terrain with a floor cleaner and behaving oddly at his brother's home, Mario Abston. Mario Abston stated that he saw Cleotha Abston cleaning the interior of the car with floor cleaner. Both also saw Abston washing his clothes in a sink in the house. Mario stated that Abston was acting very strange. Police announced that Abston was charged in connection with Fletcher's disappearance on their Facebook page. The individual who was detained has been officially charged in connection with the abduction of Eliza Fletcher. At this point in the investigation, Cleotha Abston, 38, has been charged with especially aggravated kidnapping and tampering with evidence, they wrote. Now, naturally, the evidence would be washing the clothes in the sink. 2, cleaning the floorboard of the GMC terrain. They noted a second individual currently not believed to be connected to Fletcher's abduction, who also was arrested during this investigation, Mario Abston, 36, was charged with possession of a controlled substance with intent to manufacture and sell fentanyl, possession of a controlled substance with intent to manufacture and sell heroin, and convicted felon in possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. This remains to be an active and ongoing investigation. We continue to ask for assistance from the community. If anyone has any information concerning this investigation, they should call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. On Facebook, Abston referred to Mario as his brother. He shared the above YouTube video for him. I will not play the content of the video. You will have to go in this article or YouTube to get the video because it has explicit language in the rap song, and I do not own the rights to the music. This is the brother here. Excuse me, this is Mr. Cleotha. And you get a partial picture of the brother. Sorry about a little grainy there. Thank you so much for joining me. Number 2, Abston was accused of the kidnapping of a defense attorney named Kemper Duran in 2000. This is an earlier picture of our suspect. Thank you for joining. Facebook picture. Shelby County, Tennessee court records reviewed by Heavy show that Abston was charged with especially aggravated kidnapping in 2000. He entered a guilty plea. Court records show he received 24 years in prison starting in November 2001. According to Fox 13 Investigates, Cleotha Abston was eligible for release after 85% of his 24-year prison sentence and got out sometime in the past 2 years. He was also charged with aggravated robbery. His sentence for that count was 11 years, but it appears to have run concurrently stemming from the same offense. This is the charge pertaining to Abston Cleotha. Especially aggravated kidnapping, petition for post-conviction relief. Here are the dates, the level of the felony. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. The May 2000 article in the Commercial Appeal says that Abston was 16 at the time of the kidnapping. He was one of 3 juveniles, one was only 12 years old, who were charged in the robbery and carjacking of Memphis defense attorney Kemper Duran. The story says that Abston was believed to be the gunman. Duran was confronted just before 2 a.m. as he left the Handy Awards ceremony. The gunman took his billfold and ordered Duran into the trunk of his 1992 Mercedes-Benz, where he spent the next 2 hours. The story obtained through newspapers.com says the gunman then picked up the 2 other suspects. They tried to withdraw money from ATM machines and took Duran to a gas station. Duran was able to call to a Memphis Housing Authority security guard in the store. The robbers left on foot while the guard called 911, the story says. Abston was arrested after a tip to Crime Stoppers. According to the Memphis Flyer, Duran was walking to his car around 2 a.m. on May 25, 2000, after attending a party on Beale Street when a lone gunman walked up behind him, took his wallet and forced him into the trunk. The abductor, Cleotha Abston, drove around and picked up friends then. After about 2 hours, escorted Duran into a MapCo station to withdraw money from an ATM. A uniformed police housing authority officer entered. Duran yelled that he had been kidnapped and the kidnappers ran away. Let's go back to this for 1 second. Cleotha obviously wanted to show off after kidnapping Mr. Duran, a white man, put him in the trunk. So for 2 hours, he's riding around after he's picked up his friends. So after picking up the friends, 2 hours later, he takes Mr. Duran to a MapCo station to withdraw money. How stupid are you to take the victim out of the damn car and think he's not going to try to save his own life? Why would he want to return to that car with you and your buddies to climb back into the trunk? Think about that for a minute, you guys. I've been kidnapped. You ride around in my car, picking up your thug ass friends, and then you all take me to a gas station, let me out the trunk. Let's go there. How did they let him out of the trunk without anybody seeing him get out of the damn trunk? Don't you find that funny? A bunch of black boys riding around in a damn Mercedes, and you're gonna pop the trunk and let the victim out. Now you go on in there and you bring that money back out so we can put you back in the trunk. I'm dead. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Duran is now deceased. He was remembered as a tenacious defense attorney who fought for the rights of people wrongfully convicted in a Tribune article. Fletcher's uncle, Mike Keeney, works for the same law firm that employed the now deceased lawyer once kidnapped by Aston. On Facebook, Pookie Abston is still friends with one of the co-actors in the Duran incident. Now put that on paper. Usually people don't still remain friends after they've committed a crime and they are found guilty and go to prison. But we now learn that Pookie is still friends with one of the guys who he picked up after putting Duran in the trunk of that Mercedes. There was an abduction in Memphis shortly before Fletcher was taken that resembles the Duran incident. In that case, a mother and young child were abducted by at a Target store and made to obtain money out of an ATM, according to Fox News. They got away alive. Police are still seeking suspects in that case, but they have released 2 suspect photos and there's no sign that the cases are linked. So let's go back to that. The woman and the child that were abducted at a Target store and taken to an ATM, they got away alive. Suspects still at large. 1, what is the race of the mother and the child? What is the race of the suspects? One would probably assume that they're black. The suspects. But they're saying they have released 2 suspect photos and there's no sign that the cases are linked. In the Fletcher kidnapping, police quickly released photos of the suspect SUV. This is a grainy picture of the SUV on the morning of the kidnapping. Officers have been able to obtain video of the possible suspect vehicle, Memphis police wrote. On Saturday, September 3rd, police announced that they had located the SUV near an apartment complex in southeast Memphis and detained a man inside it. It's not clear whether that man was absent. The SUV was damaged in a crash with an ATF vehicle. Police then swarmed the apartment complex. So that means perhaps there was a crash, pursuit. Maybe he was running from them. He realized, oh, they've gotten me. And the ATF rammed its car into the SUV. Number 3, Pookie Abston Facebook page shared graphics with expletives. Fletcher showcased pictures of her family on social media and wrote about her love of true crime podcasts. Imagine that. And many of you will probably think to yourselves, usually the people who are immersed in true crime, such as myself, because I talk about true crime on this network, ends up becoming a victim. That's why sometimes it's best I tell myself not to continue to do this type of commentary, because it's almost as if you're laying out the foundation to be the subject yourself. Something to think about. Here we go. Facebook post of Pookie Abston. Shush, this weed is viewed loud. One of his Facebook posts. Thank you for joining me. The Pookie Abston page doesn't have much visible on it except for the gun graphic and a couple graphics with expletives. Which part of F off do you not understand? Reads 1. Another post says, shush, this weed is very, very loud. On the second Facebook page, which is named Cleo Real, he wrote, don't lose your queen bee chasing a butterfly and end up with a roach. Let us pray. In 2019, he wrote, I'm a prisoner in my own mind. I feel like these walls talking to me. Another post said, MFs always see my folks and be on some what's up with Pookie, what's up with Wow, like they really F with a Nigga, but don't F-U-C-K with no Nigga. I've been going all this time and have a Facebook page, MF. If you F with me, you would have been sure I was straight. FYM, get the F out of here. And that BS been doing this SHYT by my MFN self. I'm screaming effing you, NIGGA, and BITCH, keep the same energy when they free me. Lord have mercy, I'm dead. Reading all that nonsense. Picture of our missing victim, baby, and husband. 6 years ago, Facebook post. Thank you for joining me. On her Facebook page, Fletcher showcased photos of her husband, Richie Fletcher, and their 2 young children. Her most recent post in 2021, other than a profile picture of her family, reads, "Need a new general practitioner. Can someone recommend a good, easy to get an appointment of doctor or NP?" Other photos show her wedding. Fletcher's Facebook posts were similarly typical. "I need TV show recommendations. I'm up for older shows or newer ones, read one." In one post, she told her friends she was looking for a new true crime podcast. Well, she never heard of Everyday Shenanigans. All right, everybody. The interesting thing about this is they're saying in her most recent post, 2021. You all don't find that strange? It is 2022. We're almost getting ready to approach the holidays. Listen to what I'm saying to you now. And I said this before in my other commentary. Many of you are suspecting that the husband was behind this, but we also hear that Cleotha has a violent past with kidnapping as a 16-year-old. So perhaps he's also a sexual sadist, pent up anger, pent up sexual desires, needs. He found the victim last Friday morning. Some of you may think this man paid this guy. But something's off with these people because we know that the man was an alcoholic. And to hear that her recent post was 2021, I'm praying that that's not true. But naturally, you can't go into a person's Facebook page if it's on private. So is it possible this is only information they could get available? But then one would have to say, did the family go into the phone and dismantle her Facebook page? I don't know. Something strange about that information, if indeed it's true. As I said, she was posting to Facebook, needing show recommendations and looking for a true crime podcast. She also wrote about running, long distance runners. What do you think is the best form of cross training? She wrote, best podcast to listen to while running. I like Serial, Up and Vanish, and Dr. Death. I enjoyed the Happy Hour, and I'll have another. This is so freaking eerie. This woman likes listening to this nonsense while running. And some would say, well, Angela, you can't say that. You're talking about it now. Yes, I am. But I want you to think about what I'm saying. And I've said this to myself recently. Am I claiming bad things to happen to me or be a witness to a crime by talking about true crime every damn day? Going to sleep watching true crime. Because that's what I did late this morning. Before cutting the TV off, I was watching the ID channel. I want you all to listen to what I'm saying very carefully. You can claim your own destiny by the content that you're listening to. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the fact that she had ear pods in her ear, perhaps, I don't know if she had them in on that morning, but the point is she's mentioning that she's listening to a podcast, period. Doesn't even matter what the content is. You're not aware of your surroundings by having earpieces in your ear, in your ears. You need to be able to hear if somebody's running up on you, if a dog is coming, if someone's saying, yo, get out of the way. Hey, ma'am, look out. How are you going to know you got something in your ears? Lord have mercy. I'm beside myself right now. All right, everybody. As I said, she likes watching Serial, up and vanished in Dr. Death. She enjoys happy hour, and I'll have another. Her Instagram page is filled with photos of her husband, kids, biking, family trips, and so forth. She wrote recently on Instagram, "The boys woke me with handmade cards, balloons, breakfast. I love my family. I am an imperfect mother. Every day I'm working to move from rigidity to flexibility, shame to grace, perfection and criticism to acceptance and gratefulness. I want to be a mom that is a safe place for the boys to feel, be themselves, and fail while learning. As I raise these boys, I am teaching my inner child at the same time. Gotta give a shout out to Fletch Lives, Fletch Lives, who goes through this process with me and loves me at the same time. Hashtag surrender." I'm assuming she's saying that to her husband. Here is a photograph of Liza W. Fletcher, sweet glass next door, picture of her husband. Favorite person at our favorite restaurant on lovely nights. They're out together. She appears to have been a grounded young lady. Loves her family, children. Fletch Lives on the Instagram page of her husband, Richie Fletcher, a long-distance bicycle rider. In March, he wrote on Instagram, 8 years in the making with this smoking hot babe. Wouldn't want it any other way. In February, Richie Fletcher wrote, "The boys and I had a blast chasing mom around the mountains as she ran her first 50K trail run." Number 4. Abston also had a lengthy juvenile history for theft and aggravated assault. Here's a picture of Cleotha Abston. And do know that they take pictures periodically of inmates while they are incarcerated, depending on how many times they have to go to court and make court appearances. According to a 2001 article in Memphis Flyer, Abston also had a long juvenile record of theft and aggravated assault. In contrast, Fletcher is listed as a teacher at St. Mary's Episcopal School under the name Eliza Fletcher. Before news of Abston's arrest, Eliza's family held a news conference and spoke publicly on the abduction for the first time. Eliza's uncle, Mike Keeney, read a statement including from her husband, brother, and parents. Richie Fletcher, her husband, and the other family members flanked the uncle. "We want to start by thanking everyone for their prayers and outpouring of support. Eliza has touched the hearts of many people, and it shows. We want to thank the Memphis Police Department, Shelby County Sheriff's Department, TBI, FBI, and all of the other law enforcement agencies who are working tirelessly to find Eliza," the uncle said. "The family has met with police, and we have shared with them all the information we know. More than anything, we want to see Eliza return home safely. The family has offered a reward for any information that leads to her safe return. We believe someone knows what happened and can help. If you have any information on this crime, Eliza's location, call the police at 901-545-COPS or Crime Stoppers, 901-528-CASH. This is the sad picture of the family giving a news conference pertaining to the disappearance of Eliza Fletcher. You can see the mother looks like she's been crying. Beautiful picture of Eliza in the background. The uncle is reading a statement to the public. This is what I find interesting about this information. The uncle says, "We believe someone knows what happened and can help." Uncle, yeah, Cleotha knows. Cleotha knows because Cleotha is the one that kidnapped your niece. So that's who you all need to be trying to talk to. I'd go in that jail and I'd tell them, I need to talk to Cleotha man to man. "Hey, homeboy, Pookie, where the hell is my niece?" Husband, same thing. "Where the hell is my wife? Where is my wife?" The fact that the husband lawyered up still is dicey to me because he has no reason to lawyer up when he is one of the factors to how she got missing. You and the University of Memphis called. So that means she hadn't returned home. You are acting concerned. You called 911. Number 2, University of Memphis police calls, puts in a report. Obviously, they've seen the video of this black man pushing this white woman into a damn car. But yet, we get information from law enforcement. You have lawyered up. Why? Why are you lawyering up? This makes no damn sense to me. This is the craziest information I've ever heard. Oh, Lord. The family has met with police, and we have shared with them all the information we know. More than anything, we want to see Eliza return home safely. The family has offered a reward for any information that leads to her safe return. We believe someone knows what happened and can help. If you have any information on this crime or Eliza's location, once again, as I said, 901-545 COPS Crime Stoppers, 901-528-CASH. In a city watch alert before the arrest, Memphis police characterized Eliza W. Fletcher, 34, as a missing adult. Here's another picture of Eliza and someone. I don't know if this is a brother. Kind of sorry about that. It's going in and out. Very grainy. Alert says that a male approached her at approximately 4:30 a.m. in the middle of Central Avenue and appeared to leave her in an unknown vehicle following a brief struggle. Let me read that again. Appeared to leave with her in an unknown vehicle following a brief struggle. Police figured this out by obtaining surveillance video showing the abduction. Victim went running early morning, was abducted and forced into a mid-sized dark-colored SUV. Police wrote. They said Fletcher is a white female, 5'6" inches tall, 137 pounds, with brown hair, green eyes, hair in a bun, pink jogging top, purple running shorts. The suspect was described as an unknown male. People with information are encouraged to call the Memphis Police Department 901-545 COPS. That's 2677. Others have described her hair as blonde. Police say they were not aware of a connection to a dark SUV harassing members of the University of Memphis women's cross-country team. So let's talk about that briefly. Who is the person that's been harassing the cross-country team? The University of Memphis. See, you don't know people. People are sick out here. What was the incident about? Was someone stalking the girls, following them around, throwing things at them, saying things to them, hissing at them? Did they approach them at the dorm, their apartments, while running? What are we talking about? Black man, white man, Jew, Arab, Mexican? What? Who has been harassing the cross-country team? Very interesting information. Number 5, Fletcher is Fletcher is from a well-known Memphis family. 8 years ago, the couple. Sad to see a picture like this. Thank you, Nubian. Thank you so much. Lord mercy. According to the commercial appeal, Fletcher is from a well-known family in Memphis. She's the granddaughter of the late Joseph Joe Orgel III, described by the publication as a Memphis hardware businessman and philanthropist who has supported causes including Dixon Gallery and Gardens and Church Health. Orgel's obituary says he left behind 9 grandchildren at the time of his death. She married Richard Fletcher III in 2014, Memphis Magazine reported. That article described the nuptials as a memorable Memphis wedding. Richard Fletcher III is also called Richie Fletcher. The magazine described Fletcher as a natural girl, outdoorsy, athletic, warm, and the plans for her wedding emanated from her personality and style. The story noted that Fletcher's parents, Adele and Beasley Welford, were happy to be able to give their daughter the woodland-themed wedding she envisioned. Here's another picture of Liza and Richie Fletcher. Very athletic-looking young lady. I do believe she put up a fight Friday morning with Cleotha Pookie Aston. That is an Instagram photo, in case you needed to know. The story continued. The wedding ceremony held at the Second Presbyterian Church, which was indeed where the happy couple met. The officiant was Reverend Mitchell Moore, echoing a naturalistic theme Liza's elegant wedding gown by Austin Scarlett was painted with pale mauve flowers. George Robertson, the senior pastor at Second Presbyterian Church, married Fletcher and her husband and told the Commercial Appeal, she and her husband Richard are both very active and great leaders in our congregation. They have 2 little boys who have come up to me every week and give me a hug. That is said information by Heavy. I'm now going to get into my commentary. This is a bit winded live because there was a lot of information to bring to you pertaining to this case. So let me start at the beginning. A bond has been set for Cleotha Pookie Abston, Henderson. $500,000 bond. He will need to post $50,000 to make his way out of a Memphis jail. He is 38 years of age. He is an African-American male. Another photo of the suspect before I go into my commentary. Smiling there, but a demon seed. This man has been committing crimes since a teenager. What was the first age that Cleotha became a bad boy? Pookie Abston has been known as Wild Child. Cleo Real on Facebook. Who is the woman whose car he used Friday morning? Gwendolyn Brown is the information I got from this said Heavy article. This is a very detailed article. Very winded, but it's detailed. There's one thing I can say about the information in this article. We're going to go back to the top and rehash what was said. One moment while I pull up the information, you guys. Okay. Cleotha was seen the day before at the Malco Theater. They found that he resides at 5700 block of Waterstone Oakway. Utilities in the name of Gwendolyn Brown, who has a black 2013 GMC Terrain registered in her name at this Waterstone Oakway address. As of September 1st, Abston has been listed at this address alongside Gwendolyn Brown. I'm assuming Gwendolyn Brown, you are the girlfriend of Cleotha Pookie Abston. How long have you been dating him? He's only been out under 2 years from a penitentiary out of Tennessee. Where did you meet him? Why was he driving your car at 4 o'clock in the damn morning? And have mercy, you are messed up right now because your car is in evidentiary in a heinous, brutal kidnapping and possible death of Eliza Fletcher. You must feel awfully low right now. To know that, one, you've been dating a guy who's been getting in trouble since he was a teenager, gets out after 20 years of being locked up, who's obviously also a sadist, pent-up aggression, pent-up issues. So we're going to ask ourselves the obvious. Come on, Queen, bring it to him. What the hell are you doing out here raping women and you got a damn woman at your house? Whose name is on the lease? Is the lease in Gwendolyn Brown's name? How long has he been dating Gwendolyn Brown? Has she seen any type of felonious activity with this Cleotha Pookie? Does she have children? Let's go there. Uh-oh, Queen about to get deep. Gwendolyn, do you have children in your house? How old are you, Gwendolyn? This is going to be real nasty. We find out Gwendolyn has children inside of that apartment, and she's had this fucking bum lying up in there playing house with her, out here fantasizing about assaulting women, stalking women. In your car. So guess what? We get ready to go there. How many times has he been riding around in that damn GMC stalking women? Possibly Eliza Fletcher. Oh, now. Queen went way down in the belly of the beast. You don't know Cleotha, Gwendolyn. You gonna feel mighty low during the witching hour, because that's when the devil likes to tap us on the shoulder in the witching hour. Can't sleep at night. Oh, you're gonna lose a lot of sleep unless you're diabolical as Cleotha. And what's gonna be bad is if you saw signs that Cleotha wasn't right, and you also have children in your house. So I'm gonna pray and hope you don't have any damn children. You don't have any children that didn't live there. Because to know that you've brought this thing around your own persons, your own friends and family, and nobody knew Cleotha was a sadist, besides being a little robber, putting people in trunks and taking them to the ATM, 20 years in prison, he hasn't had a life. Y'all stay woke with me now. And it's not that you can't be redeemed, because if you believe in God, you can be redeemed. But Cleotha was tainted. So who's his mama? Who's his daddy? Where are his parents? Where do they live? Are they living? How many brothers and sisters do he have? Has he made any children since he's been released? Did he make any children before he went into the penitentiary? He went in as a child, a tainted child. Was he sexually assaulted while he was in jail and prison? Come on with it, Queen. Because 9 times out of 10, he was a baby when he went in there. We know he was. He probably was touched while he was in there. 20 years is a long time for a child to be living in a prison with grown men. And there's no telling what he saw while he was up in there. He was up in there with dope dealers, drug addicts, rapists, sadists, robbers, thugs, gang members. Is he affiliated with a gang? He probably got worse in the damn prison, but that is where he belonged because of the crime of kidnapping and robbery. What has he been doing since he got out of that damn prison? But what is the old saying? Street saying, free ain't really free. Because see, so long as that mind is tainted, you ain't free. And he says that in a Facebook post about his mind and being locked up in them walls. You see, as they say, you got a lot of time to think about stuff when you're locked up. It can either be good or it could be bad. And the sick part of this story is he gets out, but he doesn't redeem himself. You hear the neighbor saying he was soliciting women for $100 to have sex with them. So what type of sex are we talking about? Because if you got these violent tendencies and we've got a feeling she ain't alive, what were you doing when you were having sexual relations with Gwendolyn? Come on with it, Queen. What were you going to do with those women that you were going to pay $100 to? And you want me to believe you going to actually pay somebody $100? You sitting up here with shoulders as big as New York City. You probably was going to rape the woman, even though she may have consented to have sex with you. But you seem like you're too frisky and eager to have sex. So you would jump the gun before she could probably get her underwear off. I listened to a sadist comments in the true crime I was watching this morning, where the rapist says he's been thinking about this ever since he was about 13 years of age, a white male. That he didn't fantasize dating a girl the right way, liking a girl the right way. All he could see was getting her alone, putting his hands around her throat and strangling her, and sexually assaulting her. That's his idea of a date. Now you think about that for a second. He said, I knew what I was doing was wrong, but that's what my thought process was. I didn't think like a normal guy. Take her out, have fun, do nice things together. I just want to strangle her. Same thing Samuel Little said. African-American serial killer. I've been attracted to the throat since a young boy. This is deep, because perhaps Cleotha had the same thoughts as a boy child. He fantasized about the throat, strangulation, seeing a woman helpless. That is what the white man said about raping women. I've always wanted to see a woman helpless as a boy child. I used to fantasize about my teachers being choked out, helpless. See, most of this sadism starts as a child. And 9 times out of 10, when you have children who behave this way, boy children with these felonious thoughts as children, they've been tainted as children. They've probably been subjected to violence, sexual assault themselves. Most sadists have been sexually molested by men and women, other children. Stay woke now. But it is no excuse to go out here and assault people. But if you don't get help, that's exactly what you're going to go do. They say rape is control, but I say it's also sexual, because these men will tell you that's all they think about. So it's more than just control. They have unusual sexual appetites, wanting to do different things sexually with their victims. And as I heard a reality star say on a program the other day, I want him to put his hands around my throat just a little bit during sex. Well, you see, you have to be very careful what you ask for. Come on with it, Queen. Don't ever claim something you can't take back. You see, that little playful hands around the throat while having sex can lead to him pressing harder while getting off. And next thing you know, you're dead. Now he's got to explain during a 911 call why the woman he's been having sex with is now limp, no longer breathing. Because he enjoys choking her and she enjoyed being choked. But the end result can be death. Stay woke now. "16 years old, convicted of kidnapping. He brought along a 12-year-old after the fact, and another guy, still friends with one of the guys that he brought along for the kidnapping of that lawyer many moons ago, and the lawyer is no longer living. Something's off here. At that time, he was accused of theft, aggravated assault as a child. I want you to understand what I'm saying to you. Cleotha was a child. He knew better. 16, you know damn well he knew better. But what would possess him to go hunt this white man down and put him in a damn car? You know how frightening that would be, to be accosted and somebody stuffing you in your own damn car, and you're riding around in the back of that trunk. You don't know where you're going and what this guy's going to do to you. A kid put a grown man into a trunk. How terrible it must have been lying in that trunk for hours, not knowing what this guy's going to do to you. And while this white man is lying in the back of this trunk, Cleotha then went and picked up some more hoodlums joyriding around in this damn man's car. Didn't even give a damn. Hell no. We ain't gonna do nothing to him just yet. Let's go joyride in his car. Be seen. Hey man, where you get this car from? Wasn't even going to school at the time. Come on with it, Queen. Bring it to him. Who is Cleotha Pookie Abston? What was his life like as a child? Mama, daddy, no daddy. Mom and daddy on drugs? How did they live? Did he live from house to house? Parents living, not living? How many brothers and sisters do we have? What's the relationship between his parents if he's living? What was his relationship while he was living with his parents? Did he live in other people's houses, grandmamas, aunties, foster care? Was he doing felonious sexual deeds, misdeeds to children? You weren't ready for that, man, were you? You see, because as I told you, most sadists have been molested as children. I do not know if he's been molested or touched, but I won't doubt it. Because that ideology comes from somewhere. The stalking of victims, the thinking of sex excessively, wanting to do different sexual acts, wanting to touch other children, wanting to touch adults. It comes from somewhere. You don't wake up at 30 years old wanting to rape women, wanting to stalk women, wanting to throw them in trucks, kill them. You don't wake up doing that. You've had those thoughts for years. And 9 times out of 10, you had those thoughts as a child. And that is just atrocious to think of a child thinking of choking, strangling, assaulting another human being. What was Cleotha's life like as a child? Because even when he assaulted that lawyer, he was still a child. He was under the age of 18. Assaulting a grown-ass man. And I'm sure that man, before death, thought, I am lucky to be alive because that boy and them boys could have done something heinous to me. But see, Cleotha was still a child because he was stupid enough to make that man go into the damn store to get the damn money out. See, it would have been worse had he went to a private ATM, because they would have forced him back in the damn car if he tried to run. But he was stupid enough to take him to a convenience store. And I'm like that lawyer, I ain't coming out of here. Hell no. Hell no. How jacked up is it that he was a child committing crimes? 16 years of age. 20 years in the penitentiary with grown men to later come out and kidnap a woman, and she's possibly been murdered by Cleotha Pookie Abston. Did he have an insatiable sexual appetite that he could not control? Has he committed any other crimes since being released in 2020? What would Gwendolyn have to tell us about Cleotha and who he is? Has he done deviant things to her sexually? We now know he lived in this address with this woman, but who is she? We find out he watched her. Eliza Fletcher, on this fateful morning. How long had he been watching her? How long has he been watching any woman? Has he been doing this on the regular? Riding around in the wee hours in Gwendolyn's truck, looking for women, victims to prey on? Has he raped and assaulted some women and killed some people we don't know anything about in the past 2 years that he's been out? Bingo card. Will we find out that Cleotha's been busy in these less than 2 years? Has he assaulted or killed any other women since being released from penitentiary? 2020. Charged that Eliza grabbed her violently, came out of his slides, put her in the car, left behind water bottle, cell phone, and his shoes. DNA linked him to the shoes. Quick work. Memphis Forensics. Amen. Imagine kidnapping her, taking her to an adjacent parking lot, having his way with her. Did he kill her inside of that SUV or took her somewhere else and killed her? Sexually assault her? You know he did. What would be the purpose of putting her in the damn SUV? What would be the purpose of lying in wait? Where is Eliza Fletcher? Where did he dispose of her? Did he take her across state lines to Mississippi, Arkansas? For those who are not familiar with this great state of Tennessee, at the bottom of the state, we border Arkansas, West Arkansas, and Mississippi. Is she in Mississippi, Arkansas? Or is she somewhere discarded in Tennessee? Oh, Lord have mercy. After the crime, Cleotha goes to Mario's apartment. Why did you go there, Cleotha? Well, we now know, because I brought you all confirmation through heavy.com, why he didn't go to the apartment complex. Because he lived with someone. So he went to his brother's house to clean the truck and wash his clothes in the sink. So I'm going to ask the obvious question. Knock, knock, knock. Who is it? It's Cleotha. Open the door, man. The door opens. Cleotha, what the hell you done got yourself into? Why your clothes bloody, Cleotha? Can you imagine this conversation? But the gist of the story is that Mario let him in. Bingo card. Mario let him in, or the girlfriend let him in, whoever lived there with Mario, and you all watch this person 9 times out of 10 come into your house bloody, no shoes. Bingo card number 2. What did you say to Cleotha, Mario? Eyewitness number 2, female. Man, what happened? Where your shoes at? Cleotha, what you done? What did Cleotha say? So he goes into someone's personal sink, takes off his shirt, clothes, pants, or whatever, and washes them. So you want me to believe that if he washed the shirt, the shorts, the bottoms, the pants didn't get bloody? So what are you standing there naked, washing clothes in the sink? Well, what did you leave in when you left your brother's apartment? Because we know that you got arrested at Gwendolyn's apartment. Bingo card. Come on with it, Queen. They ain't ready for you. You see, I keep trying to tell everybody, all the details you need to know is in the story. Mario, you knew your brother had done something, but you and that girl didn't call the police. Why not? The fact that you told the police he was cleaning out the floorboards of the damn GNC tells me you knew he killed somebody or hurt some damn body. What did Cleotha tell you he did? And why didn't you all call 911 as soon as that MF got up out that damn apartment? You gonna sit there and let somebody come in your house bloody with no shoes on? Hell to the no. You getting your ass out of here. Soon as I see you at the door, back up, bruh. As black folks love to say, I need 6 feet. You're not coming up in here. No, man, let me tell you, let me explain. You're not gonna explain nothing to me. Back up from the door. Why you ain't go to your own house, Cleotha? What you doing here? You're not coming up in here. You knew he done something because he didn't have no damn shoes on. And 9 times out of 10, his shirt was bloody or he had took it off. He did something with it. He either left it in the car or he came up to the door without the shirt. Either way, Cleotha didn't have no damn shoes on. And you want me to believe he had a spare pair of kicks inside of that damn truck? 9 times out of 10, he didn't. Do deductions. Bloody shirt, bloody clothes, no shoes. You stupidly let him come in there and wrench the shit out in your house. And you only told because the police came to your house. That's how you got arrested with the fentanyl and the heroin. So let's go there. You would have never told on your brother. Bingo card. You would have never told on your brother. And the eyewitness, you possibly wouldn't have told either, probably out of fear. The fact that a woman gets on the news and say, I can't believe Mario did that. I can't see him doing anything. You can't see him doing what exactly? He's only being arrested for trafficking drugs, homegirl. So what are you speaking of? Come on with it, Queen. He's a dope dealer, but you can't, believe he would uphold his brother in a crime? Well, you know people gonna say he in the street life. Hell, why not lie? Deceive. And every dope dealer ain't the same. Let me make that clear. But that's not how you're going to be judged. So scratch that. Mario is just as guilty. I said in my previous commentary, kudos to Mario for talking to the police. But now with all the information, he only talked to the police because ding, 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 they showed up at the damn door. Come on with it, Queen. So now you got to ask yourself, what led police to Mario's house? Because Cleotha was arrested at another address. Oh, sookie now. And let's go here. Whose apartment name is on the lease at Mario's address? Because let's just say it's that female eyewitness. Girlfriend, side piece, whatever, I don't know. Let's say it's her apartment. You're about to get evicted, homegirl, for having a man in your house trafficking narcotics. Now, I didn't hear that the female got arrested because naturally he went on and took the blame for the drugs. But nonetheless, if it's her apartment, ding, 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 you're going to get evicted. And everybody knows how hard it is to find an apartment and a home in the state of Tennessee right now. It ain't looking too good. And who going to rent to you knowing you've been trafficking drugs with your sidekick, lover, boyfriend? See, I go deep in my commentary. I go around and around till I get to the center of the Tootsie Roll. Shut up. You all weren't going to say nothing. What weapon was used by Cleotha? Did he discard a weapon before going to Mario's apartment or in that damn dumpster? Ding! In the commentary where I'm playing the Crime Stoppers video in this live, when you go to that video, please check out my community post for all said video, audio. Buddy Chapman is speaking, the director of Crime Stoppers. While he is speaking, they're showing a green dumpster being loaded up on a flatbed at the apartment complex that belongs to Mario and the female eyewitness. What's in that green dumpster? What made law officials decide to tow the dumpster? Did somebody see Cleotha, put something in the dumpster? Did the sister, I don't know why I'm saying sister, Lord have mercy, the female rather, and the brother, did they say they saw Cleotha put something in the dumpster? Why was the green dumpster towed? Is there a weapon in there? Clothes in there? Any other type of dirty rags, cleanup rags? What's in the dumpster? Where is Eliza Fletcher? Thank you for joining me. They say Eliza suffered serious injuries, left blood behind. So that means her DNA, bingo card, come on with it, Queen, is going to be inside of that damn truck, floorboard, passenger seat, back seat, handles. Her DNA is in that truck. You didn't get it all, Cleotha. You couldn't have. Because 9 times out of 10, she was fighting getting in the truck, the passenger seat. So she's touched the doors, the windows. You ain't washed that whole car down. I doubt it. Her hair probably getting tangled up, came undone. See, you are a dummy. Because her blood's in that SUV. God forbid if she had fingernails, as I said, hair strands, skin follicles, they're in there. And you didn't get all of the DNA out of there. Cleotha stays at the Hickory Hill apartment, obviously with Gwendolyn Brown. Who is this lady? Is there only one car that they use for transportation and work? Because we get information from his employer, a cleaning company. The owner gave the telephone number of Cleotha to the police department. Why was he using her car at 4 o'clock in the morning? Does he usually use her car at this time of the morning? What time does Cleotha have to go to work? Does he work in the evenings? Because a lot of cleaning companies hire people for evening shifts because this is the time that businesses are closed and workers need to go into buildings to clean out the office buildings, businesses. So maybe this is why he was using the GMC at 4 o'clock in the morning. Come on with it, Queen. They ain't thinking. You're using that truck. Possibly she is the one sleep, got to go to work. But it's the weekend. Well, not quite the weekend. Let's just say she had to go to work. What's that, Friday morning? So while she's sleeping, you're using her truck to go out and hunt for prey. Because you don't have to go to work till possibly 6, 7 o'clock in the evening or later. You work cleaning up offices or such. So while she's getting her good sleep, you're running around in her truck looking for people to assault and possibly murder. Because we do believe that Eliza's not alive. Imagine that, everybody. While you're sleeping in your bed, your boyfriend is out riding around in your truck, hunting women, sexually assaulting women, killing women, while you're sleeping and slumbering in your bed. I want you all to think about that. Hickory Hill apartment. Well, they've now put that apartment on the map with this foolishness. Once again, what made the police go to Mario's address? He's been charged with drugs and weapon charges. Cleotha has a Tuesday court appointment. We said Monday, but today's a holiday. Happy Labor Day to everybody in the chat. Will he go forward with a trial? Plea? What will he do? He's not cooperating with law officials. He hasn't said anything to law officials about where Eliza Fletcher can be found. Will he admit to killing Eliza Fletcher? We already know he won't, because so long as he thinks he's got that body hidden, he'll just get the kidnapping charge. But one is going to use deduction when it comes to kidnapping and blood being found and evidence found in the truck. 9 times out of 10, she didn't survive, so you dumped her somewhere. We're going to go ahead and charge you with murder. That is where the story is getting ready to go. He will be charged with murder because we're now in day 3 and there is no sign of Eliza Fletcher. Now, could it be he dumped her somewhere? She was still alive, but she couldn't get up, immobile, unconscious? Could be. So it's up to Cleotha Abston to tell us the truth. Did you murder her in that car the 4 minutes you sat in that parking lot? I would use common sense. He was subduing and sexually assaulting Eliza Fletcher during the 4 minutes. But where did he go after he pulled out of that parking lot? Did Cleotha tell his brother and the female eyewitness what he did to Eliza Fletcher? Or did he say he was in an altercation with somebody else? They knew of the blood in the car. How did you know about the blood, Mario? You and the female eyewitness. See, this is where you can catch charge of accessory. Because you've told the police you saw him cleaning the floorboards of the car. Well, last time I checked, a car is parked outside. Come on with it, Queen. So how in the hell would you know what the hell he was doing outside in the car? Because that means, bingo card, he had to have asked you for cleaning solution and rags to clean up the damn blood. Come on with it, Queen. They ain't ready. Mario, you got some big boy problems right now. Selling of manufacturing, fentanyl, heroin, which is not good in the state of Tennessee. And you also knew that he was cleaning that car up. So that leads me to believe you knew that he hurt somebody in that damn car. So I'm going to ask you, what version did Cleotha give you on Friday morning? When he came to your house with no damn shoes on, 9 times out of 10, bloody clothes, washing them in your sink. That means he had them stood there with the clothes bloody. How did he leave the house? He didn't have a change of clothes. He didn't bring a change of clothes, did he? So how did Cleotha leave out of that apartment? Did you give him something to wear, Mario? What were you all thinking while he's sitting in there washing bloody clothes in your damn sink? He had to have left residue also in the sink. There's also been things taken from the apartment by police from Mario's apartment. What did they take out of that apartment as evidentiary material? You all are stupid as hell. As they say, stupid is as stupid does. Ain't nobody coming up in my house with no shoes and bloody. You're not coming up in here. Should have looked out the peephole. Oh, no, bruh, bloody, he ain't coming in here. But what do they say? Blood is thicker than water. Well, you all gonna be locked up. So there's your common link of brotherhood. Both of you locked up. And you're probably gonna get accessory because you didn't call police. So after the fact, when he came to your apartment, you knew he had done something wrong. You knew he had cleaned that floorboard because he had to ask you for cleaning supplies. You and that girl knew and you didn't say nothing. You didn't call 911. Once again, how did police get to Mario's apartment? Very interesting. We now know why he didn't go to his own apartment, Cleotha Abston, because he lived with a woman and he could not have shown up in bloody clothes. But the gist of the story is he did go to that apartment at some point because that is where he was arrested. He tried to flee, but they apprehended him. So was the woman gone when Cleotha got to the apartment? See, I asked all the pertinent questions because it's the information that's been detailed in the articles and the news clips. Was Gwendolyn Brown in the apartment when Cleotha got there? If so, what did he tell her while he's walking in there, possibly naked or half naked? Come on, y'all. Use deduction. What was he wearing when he showed up to his apartment? Because if he's rinsing out clothes in the sink, we've got to ask exactly what was he rinsing out? The top, the bottom, both? If both, what did you put on to get back to your apartment? What did you do with the clothes you were rinsing out in the sink? Did you throw them in the dumpster or you took them back to the apartment where you live with Gwendolyn? And if you took them back to the apartment, where did you put them? In the dirty clothes, bloody and wet? Don't you think it'd be smart to dispose of them? Or did you throw them out somewhere else besides the dumpster at Mario's apartment? Everybody stay woke. Why did you go to Mario's in the first place? What all did you take back to the apartment? What weapon was used? Was it thrown in the green dumpster at Mario's or thrown out when he discarded Eliza Fletcher? Who lives in the apartment where Cleotha was residing at Hickory Hill? Gwendolyn, Cleotha, who else? Whose name is on the lease at this apartment? It is said that during this lie in wait scenario, Cleotha, He obviously saw her, Eliza Fletcher, and he wanted her. And the video shows a violent struggle between the two, and it has not been released to the general public. Had he seen her before? Had he been out driving around before on that morning or other times? Had he seen Eliza Fletcher before Friday? Had he mustered up the courage to ride around looking for her, saw her, passed her by, parked the vehicle, ran up and grabbed her, and threw her in the passenger seat of that GMC? Or did he just wake up on that Friday morning looking for a victim and found Eliza Fletcher? What is the scenario? And has he done this before? As I said, when he put her in the front seat, he had to be able to go around to the driver's side. Why didn't she jump out of the car? He put her in the passenger seat. So why didn't Eliza Fletcher jump back out of that passenger seat? Because he had to go around the vehicle to jump into the driver's seat. When he took her to the parking lot, was it there is where he subdued her? Because one would ask, was she subdued when he threw her in to the passenger seat? And why didn't she jump out? So when they got to the parking lot, is this where he subdued her? Did he have a weapon? What weapon did he use? Did he sexually assault her in that car for 4 minutes? Or was this his time to get her down where she could not move and then take her somewhere else to have his way with her? Where else did he go after the 4 minutes in the parking lot? Longview Gardens is where Mario lives, the brother, 36 years of age. And this is where Cleotha ends up hours later. We're talking about a 6-hour window between the abduction of Eliza Fletcher and the 10:45 arrest of, I believe, Mr. Cleotha. Everything stands on that parking lot. Any video surveillance of him going to another location, the discardment of Eliza Fletcher where? Longview Gardens, where the brother lives, the green dumpster that was towed. The time he made it to his brother's house at Longview Gardens. The washing of the clothes inside of the sink. Cleaning out the floorboard of the car, leaving behind evidence belonging to Eliza Fletcher. The fact that the brother and a female eyewitness watched and have knowledge and never called 911. As I said, what did they say to Cleotha on that fateful morning? What was his response to what they asked? Did he tell them the truth that he had kidnapped a woman and killed her? Did he tell them where he discarded her? Did they aid in helping him clean out the truck? Bingo card. The fact they never called 911 to say that they knew something atrocious had happened inside of that GMC terrain. Once again, it has been said that Eliza, sorry about that, suffered serious injuries and left blood behind in that said car. I'm going to ask this question again. How did Mario and the female know that blood was left behind in that car? How did they know that he cleaned the car? Did they aid him in giving him cleaning supplies? what happened to the cleaning supplies and dirty rags used? Why did they let him in that apartment if they saw that he was involved in a crime? They had to know he was involved in a crime in order to know that he was cleaning the car. Why didn't they call 911? How many other people know about Friday morning? When he got home to his apartment, did he tell anyone there, call anyone? Was Gwendolyn Brown, the woman he's obviously living with or dating, did he tell her what happened? If she was there. And if she wasn't there, did he call her on the phone to tell her he's gotten himself into trouble? Who all lives in that apartment with Gwendolyn Brown and Cleotha? The many questions. Who's going to tell the truth about what happened? That's my assessment pertaining to the disappearance, kidnapping of Eliza Fletcher, a mother of two, married, church member, school teacher. $50,000 reward up for any information. Crime Stoppers. And it is sad that it takes money to get people to talk. It is very sad that the only way you can get a civilian to help in the disappearance, murder, vanishing, crime is to offer a reward. Will somebody come forward that knows something about this case? Or is everything going to be relied on Cleotha Abston, Mario Abston, and the female eyewitness? They can't get the money because one's incarcerated, and I do believe they knew he committed some crime. I do not know if he told the truth that he kidnapped a woman and killed a woman, but they knew he had done something heinous because they never called 911. Police, U.S. Marshals, whomever, showed up looking for him. And I still ask, how and why did law officials get to Mario's apartment? What led them there? And what would be the role of whomever was at the apartment with Cleotha? Was anybody at the apartment when he showed up before his arrest? Is there anybody there that has any type of knowledge of the crime he committed Friday and the whereabouts of Eliza Fletcher? Will Eliza Fletcher be found? Where is she? Is she in the Memphis general area? Outside of Memphis in one of the small towns or jurisdictions? Is she in Arkansas or Mississippi? Because Memphis lies on Arkansas border and Mississippi, for those that did not know that. And that's when it will get treacherous if he crossed out of Memphis and discarded the body of Eliza Fletcher. Maybe he will have a change of heart and tell the truth of what he did to her and where he discarded her. And it is a sad storyline, once again, of a woman out minding her business, doing she, and to be violently abducted, assaulted, and murdered, and discarded out like trash. And to leave behind a husband and children and family and friends and a community obviously worried about her. You see, you don't know people. And more sick is that this African-American male started committing crimes as a child. I do not know the initial age where he started getting into trouble, but 16 is where he's committed a felonious crime of kidnapping a Caucasian man, putting him in the trunk, finding friends to ride around in the car, taking the man to a gas station to get money from an ATM. The man yells for help. Police is called. The three guys flee, and then the police find them Cleotha is arrested alongside another participant, and he's sentenced to 20 years in prison to only get out in less than 2 years and kidnaps a Caucasian woman running, assaults her, and 9 times out of 10 murder her. What happened to Cleotha Pookie Aston to commit this vicious crime? You see, most people do commit similar crimes to what they were originally arrested for. And sadly, a child goes to prison for 20 years and comes out and he exceeds the initial crime of kidnapping, 2000. He goes all the way this time. He went all the way. What led Cleotha to commit this crime again, but then possibly murder a human being? Why did he do it? He obviously lived with a woman, dated a woman, desired a woman. So what would lead him to go out hunting women in the wee hour mornings? Has he done this before? Has he sexually assaulted women? Has he not been caught, or they have not told? Is there a possibility he's murdered a woman or more, and the information has not been relayed, discovered? How did Cleotha Pookie Abston Henderson, 38 years of age, get to this point of madness? Where are his parents? Are they living? If they are, were they in his life as a child? What do they have to say about the rearing of Cleotha and how he came to be this deviant being? And was he exacting this felonious sexual deviant behavior as a child? And did they try to stop it, get him help, seek counseling? Is he the product of a deviant sadist? Who is his father? Has he committed such heinous behavior, crimes? The mother, who is she? Where is she? What has she done? Brothers, one, Mario, what has he done in his past, similar to these acts? What will we find out later about Cleotha Pookie Aston? And will he tell the whole truth of what he did to Eliza Fletcher? I want to thank you all for joining me. God bless all of you. Happy Labor Day. Have a prosperous week. I will post a movie of the week. Thank you for joining me, following the content, like, share, subscribe. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $BigAngie129 Cash App. All stickers and chats are welcome during my lives. God bless all of you. Thank you so much for following the content. Prayers for the Fletcher family. Prayers for Eliza's children. Prayers for the husband. Dee Dee has nothing to do with this heinous crime. Prayers for her students, the school, the faculty, staff, the other children, her church, and Memphis as a whole, because Memphis is crime-ridden at the current moment. And this is just another heinous crime to add to the list, the abundant list of deviants down there. Prayers for us all. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Ladies, please be aware of your surroundings. Do not take life for granted. Do not think that no one would harm you. Do not think that I'm not the type that he would want. There is no type. And know that a smiling face could be the last face you see. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.